Welcome back on this Friday, this last day of the week, the last day that we are spending in the Minor Prophets, at least for a while. Starting next week, we will be starting on the book of Exodus. Much like we did for Genesis, we'll be going through most likely a chapter a day, just focusing on small passages that help us to see and understand the full context of the chapter. A couple important things to help you understand it as you read more in depth. But today we are wrapping up Nahum chapter 3, beginning with verse 14. It is really, again, showing the end of Nineveh. Verse 14. Draw water for the siege and strengthen your forts. Go into the clay, tread the mortar, take hold of the brick mold. There will the fire devour you, the sword cut you off. It will devour you like the locust. Multiply yourselves like the locust, multiply like the grasshoppers. You increase your merchants more than the stars of the heaven. The locust spreads its wings and fly away. As we begin this, they see that this assault is coming. The Assyrians do. The prophecy is showing. So they will strengthen their fortification. They will provide, get provisions for themselves, store up the water. But at that point, at the point of strength, they would be devoured like locusts devouring the crops. And then it says, the plan then for the Assyrians would be to multiply themselves. They would respond by recruiting even a greater army that all will join in. But yet that doesn't even matter. The locust, it says, spreads its wings and fly away. Verse 17. Your princes are like grasshoppers, your scribes like a cloud of locusts, settling on the fence in the day of cold. When the sun rises, they fly away. No one knows where they are. The leadership, the princes, the scribes will fall. They will flee away, leaving the people helpless. Verse 18, your shepherds are asleep, O king of Assyria. Your nobles slumber. Your people are scattered on the mountain with none to gather them. Again, focusing this time, instead of talking to Nineveh, he is speaking to the king of Assyria. Your shepherds are asleep. Those who care for the people are not paying attention. In fact, most likely being asleep shows that they have all been put to death. The nobles slumber. The important people, the honorary people have been put to death. All the people have been scattered about because they have no leaders, no one to gather them together. Nineveh has been destroyed. The final verse, verse 19. There is no easing your hurt. Your wound is grievous. All who hear the news about you clap their hands over you. For upon whom has not come your unceasing evil? This ends this prophecy. As we look at this last verse, when it says there is no easing your hurt, the your is not Nineveh. It is continuing with the king of Assyria. If it was Nineveh, that your would have been a feminine word in the Hebrew. It is masculine, focusing on the king. The wound being grievous shows that destruction is beyond, and it will lead to death of Assyria, death of Nineveh. In the end, death for the king. The last two parts there, or the middle part, all who hear the news about you clap their hands over you. It reminds me of those newsreels that you see of World War II, when, first of all, the Germans surrendered, how much cheering and happiness there was because the evil empire was gone. Or when VJ Day, when Japan surrendered as well. All of those things caused people to rejoice. The whole world rejoiced because war was done. And here, all would rejoice. All would rejoice because evil was done. Assyria had harmed everyone, from the small nation to the large, and all would rejoice. It's interesting. This very last part, the last line, is a question. Only 2 books in the Bible end on a question. Jonah, which is when Jonah went to the Ninevites and God said, God was rebuking him. Would it be better that all of them be destroyed? Right? And here, now it is part of God's rebuke of Nahum, for upon whom has not come your unceasing evil. All of them have seen that evil. And for that, God is showing punishment. But yet in Jonah, it showed that God was willing to relent if they would turn to him. And while they did temporarily, they turned away and followed their own truth, their own desires. That wraps up Nahum. Glad that you've stuck with me through these minor prophets. Again, we are starting with Exodus on Monday. Exodus chapter 1. We will see you then. God bless.